Welcome to Troy Drone Flights, and I am Troy. In this particular video, I would like to talk to drone enthusiasts and folks who have their Part 107 license who take this drone flying business as a actual business. And of course, to new enthusiasts who are getting into this particular hobby, about an incident that occurred in California where a man flown his drone at night into a police helicopter. And, with all of these new FAA rules that's going to be taking effect in the next year or two, the hobby, it seemed like is going to be getting a lot more stringent on how we fly, where we fly, and the parameters on which we fly. And unfortunately, when incidents like this occur, it somewhat taints the actual hobby. And it makes it that much harder for us to go to the FAA and make a call as to why we should be allowed to continue to fly recreationally. But let's get into this particular story in this article, and I'll explain in a lot more detail exactly what actually happened. A Los Angeles man pled guilty Thursday to a misdemeanor count after his drone crashed into a police helicopter, prompting an emergency landing, federal prosecutors said. It's believed to be the first criminal conviction for unsafe operation of an unmanned aircraft in the nation, the U.S. Attorney Office for the Central District of California said in a statement. Hernandez admitted to investigators that he operated the drone according to a criminal complaint. He said that the drone is hard to see at night. He looked down for a few seconds at the controller. When he looked up and saw, it was smacked by the hovering helicopter, according to the document. While the conviction may be the first for the unsafe operation of an unmanned aircraft in the U.S., it is not the first time someone has been charged with an illegal act involving a drone. Andrew Rene Hernandez, 22 of Hollywood, pled guilty to the single count in plea agreement according to the court records. He flew the drone just after midnight on September 18th because he was curious after hearing a police helicopter and sirens, according to court documents. The police helicopter with two officers inside was flying after a reported burglary at a nearby pharmacy. The documents say the pilot saw the drone and tried to avoid it, but it hit the bottom of the helicopter. The chopper made an emergency landing at an airport. A criminal complaint quotes an officer saying that if the drone had hit the helicopter's main rotor, it could have brought down the helicopter. So, I understand the very reason why the FAA have the rules and regulations that they have now for recreational drone flyers and Part 107 drone flyers. And their rules are very simple and easy to follow. Don't fly above 400 feet. Don't fly over crowds. Very simple. Don't fly the drone out of eyesight. So if you're flying the drone at night, which you are technically permitted to do, but you have to have a strobe on the drone at night that can actually illuminate the drone. Also, you got to be able to see the drone. I mean, this guy made every textbook mistake that every drone operator should never do. And of course, you should never supposed to fly your drone when there are medical emergency personnel responding to a burglary or a medical emergency event, such as what this police helicopter was trying to do. The young man said he heard sirens responding adjacent to him or in the nearby neighborhood in which he lived, so he decided to launch his drone. Well, that's the worst time to launch a drone. So, I mean, to be honest, he's going to get off pretty light. I mean, he's been charged with a misdemeanor, and more than most likely, this probably is his first offense. And it seems like they're going to reduce the charges. So they probably might fine him. But, is he going to face any, hard jail time? I don't think he is. But it just goes to show that everyone that has a drone, and they might have good intentions on how they fly it or where they fly it, doesn't mean that they understand the rules and regulations on how to safely operate the drone themselves. There need to be a test, and there is a test that the FAA is putting on the books for recreational drone flyers. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I know there's a very extensive test for the Part 107 drone pilots. They need to pass in order to, use their drone to make money and etc. But even if you're flying, your drone as a hobby, you need to know the basic understanding and fundamental safety guidelines on operating the aerial non-man flying object in airspaces that are occupied with other manned aircrafts. And this is another prime example of someone being careless. And really, to be quite honest, going forward, shouldn't, be able to operate a drone until they've shown sufficient proof that they understand the safety guidelines and rules and regulations to do so. I mean, just imagine if that helicopter, you know, was actually involved with the actual drone in a more catastrophic way, where the drone actually did wind up getting caught in the actual rotors or the propellers at the top of the helicopter, and that was could have caused a catastrophic accident. Not only injuring or possibly killing the pilots, but also the people below in a crash landing. I mean, you have to operate, safely. It's no excuse. Every time you launch a drone, you should be getting permission from the FAA. The proper apps that you should be using. To be quite honest, I'm gonna be 100. Until I started to get into the drone flying business seriously, I never used to, go on AirMap. I never knew anything about the app, to be quite honest. Until I started to take this drone flying hobbyist thing very serious and understood the parameters and the fact that I could possibly hurt someone and I could possibly get fined, a lot of money. And I didn't want to be liable for me being ignorant of the law. So now every time I launch, prior to me launching, I go on AirMap and I sync my drone up to AirMap. I get authorization wherever I'm flying at. If it's in a controlled airspace, you have to get authorization. And even if it's not in a controlled airspace, you still need to operate your drone safely and reasonably. I don't think that that's something that is too much to ask for. And I think going forward in the future, the drone regulations and rules is going to be put on the books that the FAA is going to try to enforce, is going to try to hinder people from actually partaking in this hobby. It's a great hobby. Once you get into it and once you know your niche and you know what you want to do, and whether you want to fly, PVE drones or you want to fly just regular camera drones, do what you want to do. But it won't last long, and it won't continuously be a hobby that people be able to partake in if people keep continuously operating their drones carelessly in the manner that Mr. Hernandez did. So hopefully this is a lesson for a lot of people who are beginners, who are considering getting into this hobby. Understand the rules and the regulations. Understand that you need to be responsible, and be aware that if you can't see your drone, you should not be operating it. It is way too far out. You need to bring it back in. And if you're flying your drone at night, even if you can go up to 400 feet in the air, if you can't see it, don't go that high. Even if you legally can go that high. Common sense. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave a referral link in the description box of this video for a particular cool drone company called exodrones.com. They have some really cool, inexpensive drones that rival some of the market's top drones. And I'm not just saying it, I really mean it. Exodrones. I'm going to leave a referral link in the description below. You'll get 15% off if you use my link on buying their drones on their particular website. So go check out exodrones.com. They have quite a few different types of drones for different type of drone pilots, and guarantee you won't be disappointed once you go over there. Anyway, guys, this is Troy. This is Troy Drone Flights. Until next time, peace.